going. Here we go. I grew up in the tattoo industry. I've been around it since I've been a baby. I'm originally from Geneva, Indiana, and Dallas, Texas now. Come from the Midwest, all the way to the South. I got my first tattoo because I was at a skate park in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Wild Man did a tattoo on the skater on the side of his leg, and it was like his name in broken graffiti. It looked like someone took graffiti out of glass and threw it down and it broke. And it was on the side of his leg, and it was the first person I ever seen that made me want to get tatted heavily, and that's what started it for me. Growing up in Indiana, tattoos were 100% illegal, so we weren't allowed to do them in any way, shape, or form. So all the tattoo studios that I was around were underground, and so everything was illegal. You know what I mean? There was nothing about it that was okay, so everything was wide open. The industry was a totally different ball game, you know? It was all bikers and criminals really was what started the tattoo industry, what I came up around, what I was influenced by. To moving forward, you know, the years now, we have artists coming out of art colleges, and you know what I mean, the art level and the legality of it all is a lot different, you know. Back in the day, we had to make all of our own equipment, right? Like there was no such thing as needles you could pre-buy or anything like that. There was no equipment you could buy whatsoever. Everything had to be hand built. It's changed a lot. I did 3 separate apprenticeships. My first apprenticeship was my entry level to get me as a piercer and started out as a tattooer. I did 2 years, and then my second apprenticeship was to learn I wanted to learn how to do black and gray tattoos. So I apprenticed under a studio. The guy that owned it did California Fine Line black and gray style tattoos. So I did that for 2 years. After that apprenticeship was up, I then moved to Kentucky to learn how to do color for Dancing Dragon, and that's where all of my everything really started off for me. So my first studio I actually apprenticed under Dancing Dragon, and then I bought one of their studios from them actually. So the artistic encounter number 1 and number 2 were both in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And then I opened them in 2001 and 2002. And then in 2003, I opened one in Owensboro, Kentucky. It was open for 1 day, and the rivalry tattoo shop in town burned it to the ground. So it was open 1 day and it got torched. Bowling Green, Kentucky is Western Kentucky University. One of my artists was dating a girl from here. She graduated and came home, and she bought us plane tickets. I truly thought Dallas was going to be like Fort Worth, like all cowboys, you know what I mean? This girl was in Kentucky to be a genetic pig farmer. So I'm thinking, bro, cowboys, like, I don't want to go to Dallas, bro. I had no intentions of coming here. Down to the hour before we left, I was like, I don't want to come. And my buddy was like, you got to pull up with me, bro. So we flew out here, and when I landed here, it was all wakeboarders, and I met Boog. Like the very first people I met were some of the biggest legends in the tattoo industry. So I did, in 7 days of coming here to visit, I did cooler tattoos in 7 days than I'd ever done in my career. So I knew right then and there that Dallas was where I belong. Like there was no doubt in my mind. I would give up 100% of everything I had in Kentucky just to come here and be an artist here, not even own what I have. So I knew it was my destiny to be here for sure. Coming here, like I said, I landed when I got here. The guys that picked us up from the airport were completely covered by Boog. And I'd heard about Boog and seen Boog for years, but obviously never got to meet him. And these guys were like, that's my brother, you know? So I was like, take me now. I was here maybe 2 hours and got in a car and was like, if you really know this dude, I want to meet him. So they took me to his shop in Oak Cliff in the hood. It was wild. You know, he had to buzz in, wait, like they put guns up on the shelves everywhere. Like it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. You know, it was definitely coming from Kentucky to the hood here and seeing a Mexican style hood shop that was like wild, right? So I pull up in there, you know what I mean? And me and Boog just immediately clicked it, you know? And so from jump, he was like, look, he liked what I did. The style that I did was totally different than him. So I come here, I did color bomb, like real bright, colorful, Japanese style and like American traditional style. So we clicked because it wasn't something that was like up, you know what I mean? It wasn't his lane, or I wasn't trying to come and jump in on what he did, you know? So I think that was one of the things that made us link up the most. But he took me under his wing, like his baby brother, and took me all over the country. He brought me to Dallas. He got me my first 2 jobs here to help me work in the studio the whole time when I was building Rosemead, let me keep 100% of my money just to help me get it built out. Like, he worked at Rosemead the whole entire time. You know, we lost Boog 2 years ago. So, you know what I mean? He was one of the biggest legends, and I feel like he's the reason why I have what I have in Texas for sure. My style of tattooing has always been, I started out doing tribal, right? Like I was the 90s tribal kid, but I always wanted to be able to do really big tattoos. Like it was never, I never wanted to be like the tiny micro tattoo guy, right? So it always started out with bigger, larger pieces, you know? There's a big piece that I'm most proud of right now. It's a Fui Mayo. It's like it's a Japanese demon. He's riding a dragon. It's on one of my apprentices actually here, and it's from the back of his neck to below his ass cheeks. It's full color, but we did the tattoo 4 days back to back. And then the second session was 2 days back to back. So we also did a documentary on it called The Road to Hell City. And then he had to get tattooed every day for a whole week. And then once the week was up, then we went from here to Ohio to the tattoo festival called Hell City. My wife and I both tattoo. She started out the first 10 years of our marriage, she's my trophy wife. You know what I mean? Like, she supported me in that way. Half my awards were from tattoos I did on her, traveling all over the U.S., you know what I'm saying? Magazine coverages, like, as far as blowing my name out there, you know what I'm saying? She played a huge role of that. And we have a 14-year-old son, Jackson Gunter, and that changed everything for me, bro. I always want to be around youngsters, you know, because youngsters have brand new versions of everything, right? They're always coming with the next deal, right? So I think, like, for me and like all of my old school homeboys, I try to tell them, and I preach this a lot, like, you have to stay teachable. You have to stay humble. You know, the day you think, well, I did it because of this, like, bro, that's yesterday, you know? So I want to stay relevant, you know what I mean? And I like to stay new with what's happening. I keep the roots of everything no matter what. Like, I teach the old school ways. Like, all my apprentices have to go they have to use coils. They have to run through the gauntlet like I did. So that way, whenever they move on, they understand it, you know what I mean? It's not about just me making money off of tattooing, you know what I'm saying, which has been a big fault of mine. I would do this shit for free forever, you know, and I've done it. I've tattooed for many years for nothing, you know? And so if you like the style of tattoos that I do and you like the journey that I've been a part of, you know, and what I am, you know, then reach out to me, you know, come see me, you know, we'll either help your career as a tattooer or as a collector, you know, either way, I'm here for that.